Avery here, look at one of your slalom training runs on Ego.
Avery ran.
Come on, Avery!
Alright, a little mishap there, but that's okay. Let's check it out a little slower. Alright. Looking at it in fast motion, regular motion, overall observation was just a little bit behind it, a little bit too direct, and kind of on our heels. Alright, so let's check it out slower. We need to have a consistent width of the skis through the turn and transition. It's going to be pretty hard to roll them up, make a good turn with skis like, that close together. We had to regain some width there and move to the inside ski, pressure the inside ski so it hooked up and arced a little bit to regain the separation, but pretty big spray in the bottom. Not easy. So, shoulder width or so, consistent all the time throughout the turn and transition. So I came in here, all right, and kind of a pole drag, not really a pole plant or touch. We'd love to see it more forward. It'll help you move forward in a transition, because we get those hips back here and they're not really coming forward. You're still dragging that pole back there. Hips are behind you, feet are out in front, you're chasing your boots down the hill really. And it would just be a whole lot better if we got those hips up over the boots at the top of the next turn. All right, we talked about feet. Obviously come in here, feet get super narrow in the transition, right? And pretty much stay that way. So when your feet come under you and you're kind of cross over them, we just have to keep them that same width. We can't narrow the stance as they come under us, because again, that's really hard to make a good turn. To pressure the outside ski, to roll them up to high edge angles, right? Until you regain the separation. So the turn is below, as we talked about. We're looking to have most of our turn up above. You have half your turn above, half your turn below. Right? We're looking to have above. So I think we've done these drawing before, but if this is the gate here and rise line here, an imaginary line drawn up from the hill, we want to intersect rise line with our skis pointing out and away, right? With enough elevation, or space above, in order to bring, turn shape back to the pole and have the gate the end of our turn whenever it's certainly steep and offset. Again, a lot below the gate. Again, come through here, and although it appears the end of the turn, feet got really close, you widened them, and then got really close again. We need a consistent width, obviously, on the inside ski there, and that allowed you to regain the width, as we just talked about. Hairpin, we're going to stand up taller. There's no reason. We retract like this, in a normal transition to allow the skis to get from one side of us to another when it's kind of offset on bigger turns. Here, we don't need to do that. We're going to stand up taller throughout this whole transition. A whole hairpin. That's going to be tough, and that's just why we're big spray kind of late, a little late coming out of it. Now we talked about, moving the hips forward, right? You came through here, and yes, at the end of the turn, we will get kind of pushed back a little bit in the aft. We've got to get four aft balance. Now we got to get moving forward, and those hips just never really move forward. So in here, we don't see any ankle flexion, right? Especially on the inside. We got to see this and that. So we got to pull the inside foot back, right? Because you're really on your heels. Right? You can obviously see also, not level shoulder. Inside hand drops, and the inside hand, we don't mind it dropping. A lot of World Cup racers do that. They don't try potting, but they got level shoulders at the same time and on the outside ski. And obviously, you weren't on the outside ski because you can see the spray and you're sliding down here. Came in here just straight at it, and no chance. Right. Yeah, so good turns down here. Good looking turn there. Good looking turn there. Right. Can't really see. So it looks to be. I don't mind a narrow stance, but up above they were plastered together. I mean, I like a narrow stance in slalom, but So in any event, let's keep a consistent width throughout the turn and transition of our feet. Let's try to bring a little more shape back to the pole. Intersect a little higher up in rise line. Pole plant and move forward. We got to have the hips moving forward over the feet at the top of the next turn. And let's think about pulling back that inside foot a bit. So we got ankle flexion in both feet.